Good afternoon to the esteemed judges and colleagues. We are here to present .NET, which is an AI-programmed health platform designed to bridge the gap between the healthcare communication and accessibility. Myself, V. Pradeep Kumar, joined by my teammates Vishal, Shreyas, Tulsi, Sushil, and Srinivas. We are from MEDTANK Medical College with a vision to create trustable healthcare companion to the present digital age. .NET. .NET is not just an app. It's an intelligent solution for digital healthcare challenges which we are facing today. Providing healthcare information accurately, connecting people directly to the professionals, and it also uses the data analytics to offer actionable health insights. Our main focus is on providing healthcare accessibility, and also for the people to use this healthcare app very usefully at their fingertips.
Our app, due to the most difficult problem in the present healthcare settings is the presence of an overwhelming amount of misinformation online. And for an average person, it is difficult to differentiate between what is reliable information and what is misleading information. Additionally, there are so much language barriers that delay effective communication, especially in a multilingual country like ours. So these issues, that is, misleading information, miscommunication, and confusion that arises in a patient when he has symptoms, is solved by our app .NET. So .NET addresses these challenges through three of our main components. Our first component in the app will include the AI-powered search engine. So our intelligent search engine, as soon as the user comes with a particular problem like headache or fever or cold, just like a normal physician would, it would ask leading questions that is programmed by its training through different phases. And after it has come to a provisional diagnosis, it will also tell the amount of accuracy that it is giving the provisional diagnosis in. And after it has given the provisional diagnosis, if needed, it will give the option to the user to book an online appointment, and from there he can proceed and book online appointments. What we're bypassing here is there would not be unnecessary interaction of the customer with the browser where he's putting his symptoms and getting anxiety and confusion, and it always leads to diagnosis of malignancy or whatever it is. Okay. Second component will be told.
So we have two more components, component 2 and component 3. Component 2 is a content space where we only employ registered medical professionals to as creators, where they can upload podcasts, videos, short form content, long form content, and reach out to the public to give better educational resources to them. So it's a trusted source for educational content. And we have a component 3. It's a feature where a user can create a profile, and based on his or her wish, he or she can share a particular set of data. They can link their smart devices or their medical history, or we can also integrate DigiLocker or the government's Aadhar linkage. So when a person goes to a doctor, he can just show a QR code which the doctor can scan and get to know the details as a view-only format, and easily share his or her information. Next.
So the unique value proposition. .NET's value lies in its ability to empower its user with authentic information and personalized. We have an AI algorithm which puts forward a set of questions, and the patient has to enter what are all the symptoms or the problems faced. And that will analyze the verified content which is curated by medical experts and healthcare professionals, and it will give a personalized result based on the inputs provided by the user. And apart from this, it also provides solution, the differential diagnosis, and how do you go about, how do you proceed further. It gives the contact of the local physician and the services available, and how do you proceed with that. The second most important thing here is, it is verified content. Whatever we upload, it's unlike Google, or it's not some random source. It is confined to the healthcare professionals and medical experts who can give this thing. Then the third thing is the safety. Most of them, they will want to know why should I just go with this, or how safe is it when I'm entering my data, or So we have encrypted Aadhar linked profiles which can be made. So there is end-to-end encryption. So there is no concern for data safety, and it is also easily accessible by just entering the Aadhar profile. They get the picture. And most importantly, in a very diverse country with various cultural and the language barriers, so we have real-time live translation that will bridge the communication gap. So in their own language, the user can enter their queries and avail the service.
The global digital health market is valued at $300 billion and it has a growth rate of 15.5 CAGR. In India, almost 70 million internet users are there, and there's high demand for verified online health information. And our primary target audience includes young adults, families, and secondary our target audience is the medical professionals looking to expand their reach. .NET acts as a platform to help this into progress. Thank you.
Our business model. Our business model is multifaceted. Appointment commission. We'll be taking a small commission for every appointment booked through our app. The second would be the social media services. All the registered medical professionals, they'll be uploading various contents for which we will be running ads and sponsored posts as well. The third part would be the data sharing and data analytics component. Technology and innovation. Our app will be built on artificial intelligence and machine learning to cater to the ever-growing population and constantly adapting to serve the needs of the people.
Our go-to-market strategy involves partnerships with med influencers. They are trained medical professionals who will help us in this, and the med influencers will create content for our app. It also includes social media campaigns and referral programs through initiatives. We will include the public into this.
So we have the initial cost is we have to hire skilled developers, and there are operational expenses to host such a app and security issues. So there are operational expenses and content creation through med-influencer partnerships and the compliance fees. We expect to achieve a profitability by the appointment commissions, then the sponsored content on our app, and possible potential governmental collaborations.
DocNet isn't just an app, it's a resolve to bridge the communication gap that has existed between patient and doctors. So please join us in this mission to provide a more sustainable healthcare and faster healthcare, and also combat the miscommunication. Let us transform the way we achieve healthcare one click at a time.
So to summarize our business model, we have three revenue streams from each component. Component one, we get a cut of commission from when there's a booking done in the app. Component two, we can run ad services on the social media platform. And in component three, we can do data analytics for the government and the hospitals with the data that the user is willing to share with us and provide better insights.
Now we'll be demonstrating how the app might look. It is a prototype of what it's going to look and how the user interface is going to look like.
In closing, we would like to extend our deepest gratitude to the MEDTANK organizers and panelists for this invaluable opportunity. We would like also to appreciate MBJ Medical College and Research Hospital for supporting us, and we would also like to thank our friends, family members, and peers for guiding us through this journey. Thank you for considering .NET. Thank you.
Good presentation. I'll try to be very concise actually in my comments. Well, your presentation has got both the pros and cons. Verified medical content, plenty of nonsense circulating. But at the same time, you have already, as you put, a competitor and existing alternatives are there. And still, I think in a way, you're trying to act like it is just a medical content, providing verified content. On the other side, you're trying to act like a channel for the medical professionals to spread the thing because you want to get your earnings from there. Not sure about that. Maybe somewhere towards a proper verified medical content, I think I will try to go, but not with the booking because that changes the whole. What do you say? Maybe it starts questioning the are you really genuine or you just want to give some symptoms and try to divert to a consultant that try to meet. This appears like that for me as a user. And about a diagnosis and all, there are already plenty of things. We keep discussing about Maker Suite by Google, if you're aware. It is so precise. Forget chat. You just type 2 sentences and it will give treatment and blah blah. Everything is there. I don't know. I'm not very convinced with the reference part. But yeah, on the other side of you being an authentic medical with podcast and whatever procedures, details, and content. Yeah, I think as a user, I think I'll be trying to support that, but not the other side. But still, I'm on a 50-50 basis probably on this.
So the primary idea was initially for distribution purposes. For example, if you have to take names like Practo, they could just add a layer of AI diagnosis and they would essentially be our business. But no one's going to install Practo just for that. Just to get the distribution of it, we'll be holding the medical content, the medical reels, podcasts, everything. That'll be for the distribution and getting the eyeballs. But essentially what our plan was, the AI chatbot. That is our vision. And we're using this as an internal marketing, an in-house marketing strategy to get to more customers, to more downloads of our app.
Thank you, very good presentation, and it's an interesting idea. I just want to know, what's the primary aim of this? Is just to educate the person about, give him the correct information, or finally link the patient to the right doctor?
Now, especially in the corporate settings, a lot of patients Google their symptoms, and there's a syndrome called information-derived delay or obstruction in treatment. The physician cannot really reach to a diagnosis because the patient himself is coming with the diagnosis. So with our app, with the AI chatbot, you're kind of bypassing that entire anxiety.
So your chatbot will prevent that behavioral disorder in the patient, because my idea is...
No, I think behavior of the patient is to seek to know what his symptoms are and why his symptoms are. So instead of him going to a browser, we'd rather want him to come to our app and check his symptoms on our chatbot. Because our chatbot is will be trained by many medical professionals.
And then if you have the second model of having a doctor and his personal podcast, so in a way, aren't you kind of subtly directing the patient to say that, okay, now your symptoms are matching diabetes and this is the diabetologist. You have a second thing of having a person, say I go as an endocrinologist and I do a podcast on diabetes. And then the patient also Googles and sees that my symptoms matches with diabetes. And in a way, we are subtly nudging the patient towards the doctor who is doing a podcast on the same thing. So isn't that a bit of a conflict of interest there?
So what happens is, when the patient provides the inputs, that what are all the symptoms he has got, our AI algorithm is designed like that, so that it is to the point and tries its level maximum to be accurate. And it provides a suspected. It's not going to diagnose and entirely give you that this is the condition.
No, my question is, as a person, as a layman, once I know that your app tells me that I have, say, a gallbladder stone, So the immediate question in my mind is, what should I do about it?
Yes.
Whom do I go to with it? Right? I am not interested in knowing how a gallbladder stone pain is different from a different pain. I am not a doctor.
True.
So where does this app help in that?
Yes.
So, there will be a conflict of interest because we are employing creators, but that is just to seek information. But if he wants to confirm what he or she has, we have the bot, the AI chatbot for that. We do have a conflict and we accept.
Sure.
So what happens is, sir, once they have diagnosed, how to proceed with that, as you rightly asked, that is what is the main point to make sense to the patient. So he gets the details of the top-rated physicians nearby in that area, and how do you proceed? What are all the possible tests he can undergo, the diagnosis? What?
See, for that you need a very seamless integration between a lot of multiple hospitals, health metrics, which in the current Indian ecosystem is, I don't think it is that much feasible. I'm aware IBM had tried something similar a few years back, but they had failed because there are too many hurdles in that. So if you're pitching it to that level, then a lot of more groundwork is needed.
So continue. Yeah. So the content again, we have the AI ML engineers who are expertise and who have specialty. So they will they work closely with the healthcare professionals to create a database, and based on authentic sources, the studies conducted by and the medical literature, they'll teach the machine, the AI, that this is genuine content and this is how it is. And they'll also give the input about the local physicians or what are all the possible tests you will need to make an estimate about the future cost or just an idea, fair idea. So the content is it's a together. It's the intersectoral coordination, rather I would say, that plays a very vital role.
So now let's dig a little bit into the chatbot, right? Like Professor already mentioned, these kind of algorithms need a lot of data to be trained. Now, currently, do you have any data set that has all the information at one place, saying, okay, this was the patient, this was the demographic, details of the patient, this is the symptoms that the patient presented, and then this was the diagnosis. I am not aware of a single data set that has all the features that might be required for training your bot at this moment, right? Secondly, you need data from the Indian context, right? And how would you handle the seasonality issues? Like when you go to a doctor, he or she is very well aware that it's, monsoon and then there is a viral fever run. So how would the bot handle these priors that the doctor is already aware of? My third question, how would you handle the ambiguity in the inputs of the patient itself? Because the patients, as far as my knowledge goes, are not good at articulating their symptoms well. So if they had to type into a system or probably speak into a system, they're going to be even worse. At least in a physical scenario, the doctor is actually viewing the patient, right? So how would you handle the ambiguity in the input? And lastly, how are the questions coming up in the bot, right? Is it a rule-based questionnaire that comes up, or how are you randomizing the questions based on the input from the user? How is the next question coming into the bot?
For the questionnaire, like all medical students, we start taking history the first time we go to post. So we design the app the way we take history in a medical setting. So it will ask one by one question and eliminate the probable diagnosis that might be that particular problem. So at the end, it will say the ambiguity part. The AI may detect that this person may not be giving all the information. So we have an accuracy score before we give the provisional diagnosis. For example, if it's a mental health disorder, we cannot directly come to a particular diagnosis. So it'll be like, I'm only 30% sure that this might be your diagnosis. Or if it's like a very common symptom like headache or something, that can have an accuracy score of 85%.
Yeah, but guys, what I'm trying to say is with 30% accuracy, I'm not going to book the physician, right, that you are going to suggest. And for a common cold, why do I need a chatbot? I mean, I will anyways go to the general practitioner, right? So,
Can I answer?
yes.
Ma'am, our app in no way is trying to replace a normal doctor-patient interaction at all. It is only a primary point of care. Like much before a patient is thinking of going to the hospital and even thinking that his symptoms are as serious to go see a doctor, he's going on this app, and like how we normally browse of our symptoms, we're browsing on this app before even he's made a decision to go to the physician. Instead of we're just providing a reliable source for him to search his symptoms instead of unreliable, as opposed to an unreliable source.
Yeah, I agree. But as long as you're not able to emulate what the physician does, when you go to him or her for the first time, how are you calling it reliable, right? Because if it's just going to be a simple rule-based bot, it's not going to end you up with the right physician at that point of time. And lastly, you're talking about languages. With so many dialects in India, even apps like Google Translate, right? They don't support Odia as a language. When I was working on a project, it was very difficult for us to get, an app to support Odia as a translation. But we have many dialects, etc. How are we going to deal with those from a technical perspective?
I would like to first answer the ambiguity.
Yeah.
You said the patient inputs are always, it's not accurate to the point. That's why we say symptoms and signs, what we pick up, and we differentiate what is the possibility, what is the disease. So our app, it is just giving an idea to the patient that this is this. But it always recommends them to consult a physician, because certainly and one more thing, it is artificial intelligence. So you also asked about the set of the questions.
Yeah.
So it will analyze, depending on what the person is asking or in providing, that will frame the question that way. That is artificial intelligence. So, for example, there is an app called Akinator. So you just imagine some character and it will start asking questions, and then it will pull down and bring it to ask the final. So that is how it works. It's not going to give a final diagnosis that this is your condition, this is how it is going to be. It's not like that. It could be this, and depending on the risk or severity, it will tell, please consult a doctor soon, or this is your.
So, is your bot also going to take in some lab reports that the patient might have? Because that aids the diagnosis, right? As in also some scans, etc. Because it's not always just the symptoms in a textual form, but also to look at the reports, etc. If you want to really arrive at the right physician to consult, specialist to consult, you need those reports as well, right?
As of now, we don't have an idea of getting the pictures and the diagnostic reports and the AI interpreting it, because the physician is much more superior. So in future, we train the AI, and if it is found successful and it is safe to use, we can include that as well. It's a very good idea, and that will help.
Just of time, I'll just bring up one concern. I think the concept of influencers is coming under some regulatory scrutiny. In the finance space, for example, you may have seen SEBI has taken action against financial influencers, right, who give advice on buying stocks or other investment kind of things. So there's a potential concern that similar action may come in for medical advice also in future. So that's something that if that's a primary revenue stream, you have to consider some risks associated with that. That's the point that I would like to bring up. Thank you.
I believe there's a lot of work to do in terms of the chatbot, and if you want to bring up a unique value proposition there, because already 1MG and a lot of others, Practos of the world, are doing similar things, and 1MG is really good with their analytics of the healthcare analytics that they bring out, etc. So keeping in mind the existing alternatives already and the work that is still is needed, I'm unfortunately out of this one. Thank you.
Not just concentrating on the component one, our app also has a component two, which is med influencers, which I have not really seen in the market or any app having. So I think it's a very nice opportunity for customers to be on that app and interact with and see all their famous medical influencers that already exist on other platforms to be in one particular app where they can get reliable health information and also debug all the circulating false videos that are going around and for them to get more information. And even like CPR or very essential medical things that everybody should know could be educated on this app. That's what I would like to do. The AI bot part, yes, ma'am, we'll take your feedback and we will think about it and improve it.
So from my point of view, I am also out, unfortunately. The first component one, to me, it's almost in commodity, almost on a daily basis. The improvements are happening in the GPTs, right? All the various chatbots that are coming up. And component two, I see a big risk. So it may not be sustainable business going forward.
Thank you for your presentation. I think it's an ambitious idea, but probably you need to look into all these aspects a bit more. So unfortunately, I'm out.